What if the terrifying sea monster you've heard about all your life was real? The Kraken, an enormous squid-like creature that could drag entire ships beneath the waves, has haunted sailors for centuries. The first whispers about the Kraken date back to the 12th century, originating from the icy waters around Norway and Iceland. But could it be that these stories weren't just made up to scare us? Imagine a creature so massive that it could tear a whale apart or swallow a ship whole, creating whirlpools that would pull everything into the deep. Sounds like a legend, doesn't it? But in 1853, a massive sea creature washed up on the shores of Denmark, and it looked remarkably like the Kraken. Since then, scientists have uncovered squid as large as 43 feet. But what if there's more out there in the ocean's uncharted depths just waiting to be discovered? The Kraken might not be a myth after all. Werewolves. What if stories of humans transforming into wolves were based on something more than just campfire tales? For thousands of years, from the Epic of Gilgamesh to the dark forests of 18th century Europe, stories of werewolves have haunted our imaginations. But one real-life case, the Beast of Gévaudan in France, sent shockwaves through history. This creature terrorized the countryside, leaving dozens of victims in its wake. Some scientists believe that the true origin of the werewolf myth may lie in a deadly combination of rabies and hypertrichosis, an illness that causes excessive hair growth. With rabies, the infected would become violent and irrational, attacking anything in sight. Could these real-life afflictions have been the spark behind the chilling tales of werewolves we still fear today? Trolls. Think trolls are just ugly giants living under bridges? Well, think again. What if these creatures were actually based on something far more terrifying, ancient humans? Trolls in Scandinavian folklore weren't always giant monsters. Some were just large, rugged humans with features like flat noses and strong builds. These descriptions fit the Neanderthals, our ancient cousins, who lived alongside early humans for thousands of years. When the Neanderthals disappeared, their strange features may have morphed into the terrifying trolls of myth. The truth behind the stories of trolls might be closer than we think. They could be our forgotten ancestors, remembered as something monstrous over time. Cyclops. Imagine a creature so strange it had only one eye in the middle of its forehead. This is the Cyclops. But here's the shocking twist. This legendary monster might have been inspired by something real. Ancient Greeks unearthed massive skulls with a large hole in the center. They had no idea what caused it, so they assumed it was the socket of a Cyclops' eye. But the truth was even more bizarre. The hole wasn't for an eye, it was where an elephant's trunk once sat. The Cyclops might have been inspired by the bones of ancient elephants, whose massive skulls were misunderstood as evidence of one-eyed monsters. Bunip. In the dark, murky swamps of Australia, there's a creature said to haunt the waters, a terrifying monster called the Bunip. Descriptions range from a giant wombat-like beast to a black seal with a chilling scream. But is it just a myth, or is there some truth behind it? Around 65,000 years ago, when the first humans arrived in Australia, they encountered towering reptiles and carnivorous marsupials. Could the Bunip be a terrifying memory of these ancient beasts that once ruled the land? Strange footprints and eerie cries from deep within the swamps could have been the origin of the Bunip legend. What if these monsters weren't stories at all, but terrifying creatures that once roamed the land? Leviathan. When you think of Leviathan, you might picture a massive sea serpent, an unstoppable force of nature. But what if this ancient sea monster mentioned in the Bible and across cultures was based on something real? Around 50 million years ago, a sea creature called Paleopus roamed the ocean. It was over 30 feet long, about the size of 4 small cars, and it might have been the inspiration behind stories of massive sea serpents. The truth is, the ocean is still largely unexplored. So could a distant relative of these ancient creatures still lurk in the deep, waiting to be discovered? The Leviathan might not be just a myth. It could be a shadow of the creatures that once ruled the oceans, and they might still be out there. Chupacabra. The Chupacabra. The blood-sucking monster that emerged in 1995 in Puerto Rico. When dozens of healthy animals were found drained of their blood, panic spread. Witnesses described a strange, muscular creature with spikes along its back, and suddenly the chupacabra was born. But scientists have since found that many of these sightings were simply coyotes with mange, a condition that makes animals appear sickly and strange. However, mange doesn't explain everything. In 2007, a strange creature was found in Texas, drained of blood. Could it still be the chupacabra? The mystery lingers. Could there be a creature hiding in the shadows, feeding on the unsuspecting, or is it just another myth waiting to be debunked?